Hi guys, my name is Shani Ajibade Ebunwa Janice, popularly known as Janice of Janices Food Court. Janices Food Court is your number one breakfast and brunch plug in Port Harcourt, and I am the founder and CEO of JFC. My business journey started when I was in school. It was inspired by a roommate of mine. She used to sell shirts when we were in school, and it wasn't necessarily like plenty, but it was what she could afford. And we would go around room to room trying to sell the shirts, and then vintage shirts were trend in school. So we would go around selling it in different rooms and selling. So she was like, why don't I start a business? Because she sees that I could actually talk to people to buy and try to cajole them. And I was like, no, I'm not really interested, because I didn't see myself as a businesswoman. I always saw myself coming out of school with a good grade and looking for a job. I just took her advice. Later on, I was like, okay, there's no problem in just starting. I saved up some money, just very small, and then I was able to order for a certain amount of jewelries, and that's how my business started. I sold the jewelries, and then I got some extra money back again. And from then, I had this inspiration to start a business of my own. That it was products of my own, and that's how I started my Jota business at that time when I was in school. So from all this, I just learned that sometimes people come with their opinions and people tell you stuff, and if you have a closed mind to certain things, you won't be able to learn from other people. And you should never be afraid to start. Whenever you see something and you think that the dream is too big for you. Especially in the case of my Jota business, when I started, everyone told me that no one will buy Jota, that who's buying Jota for 1,500 or 2,000 naira. Well, I went to school and sold, and in fact, it took care of me for my last semester in school, because the orders were a lot. It was shocking because of the way the Jotas were selling and the trend I was using to sell Jotas. So the main point is not being afraid of starting and being open-minded, because other people's opinion and your opinion, yes, your opinions are important, but other people's opinion sometimes can be important. After school, I went for my National Youth Service. I served in Rivers State, actually. And I got to serve in an NGO around or close around to me. During my National Youth Service at the NGO, I had the nudge or constant inspiration to start a business of my own. Something that I wanted to do as a side at first. That's what it actually was in my mind. But it wasn't working out. And the COVID-19 lockdown came, and there was nothing I could do other than have enough time to work on whatever I wanted to try. During the lockdown, I had the opportunity to try different recipes, try different skills, and just learn a lot of things that I've always wanted to learn, using my family as test run subjects to every single recipe or every single food I made. So during the lockdown, I had situations where people that could come to visit, or my parents would just be like, okay, why don't you think of selling this? Why don't you think of selling this? Why don't you think of selling this? And it was there and then I decided that after my National Youth Service at the NGO, I would like to branch out and do something for myself and try something for myself. It wasn't an easy decision. When the end of my National Youth Service came, I was scared, because I was like, you won't have any constant source of income. You don't have anyone to pay you. You don't have anyone directing you. You don't even know if this business will succeed. You only started learning how to cook a year or 2 years ago. It's not as if you can cook everything. So all these doubts actually came, and I almost didn't even quit job because I was so scared. But with the support of my family and friends, and I just felt like if I don't do this now, I will never do this. And if I don't take this step now, I may never ever take this step. So I had job offer. I was allowed, or I was given the opportunity to stay back at my office. They wanted to retain me, and I also had other job offers to work at banks and all that, but I declined. Not necessarily because the jobs were not good or because I didn't see a job as an important thing, but because I decided to give myself, and I made an agreement with God that I'm going to give myself 1 year to see how this goes, and then from that 1 year I'll decide if I would like to continue. And yesterday, 27th of November, made my business 1 year old, as long for how long it has been. So after NYSC, I decided to make a decision for myself. I think as people, as youth, we should learn to take responsibility for our actions, and we should not be afraid. But I think we have the ability to say we're still young. Most of these things we can't try when we're older because we have responsibilities to take. But when you're a youth, you take advantage of the life and the people around you and the opportunities around you. You just take that advantage and then you go for it. And then no matter what, even if you fall along the way, you have the way to pick yourself back up. Failing isn't exactly failure, is what I tell myself. Because I failed today doesn't mean I have failed at life. It just means I have been through this path and I know what way not to do the next time. So that was my summary. And then just make a decision. No matter even if you're scared and you're unsure, just make that jump. And then anytime you're feeling like you have self-doubt in a particular area, like you want to make a very important decision, and anybody's like, you can't do this, you can't sell this, you can't, if you move to this, you won't be able to make it, or something like that. I think it's best that you just make that choice for yourself and not for other people around you. I started actually as, first of all, a food blogger during the COVID lockdown. During COVID-19, as I was creating recipes, I was uploading on YouTube, sharing on Instagram, and then everyone was just like, oh, Shani, why don't you start selling? Why don't you start showing us? Why don't you allow us to eat it? We don't want to just watch it, we want to eat it also. So that was actually my hint or my move to actually go for it. So before then, I already started saving money during my NYC year because my office was paying me and NYC was also paying me. So I was saving some money to gather for starting my business. And then when my NYC year finished, I was able to save, and I used half of it to start my business. I learned that starting with what you have is very good because I didn't have a physical space. I didn't have a kitchen. I used my kitchen from home. I used the electric, everything came from home, and I used my phone and the internet. That's just to show you that you don't necessarily have to have all the perfect things down already. You can start with the little you have and what resources are already available. You don't have to cut cost and capital. Imagine if I needed to get a place or to get other things, I would have not been able to save enough money to ever start. So yes, starting with what you have is very important. So yes, it's been 1 year in my business as of yesterday, 27th of November. That was when I had my first order as of last year. And my experience so far has been one that I can only thank God for how far He has brought me. There were days whereby I felt like nothing was going to move. There were days whereby I felt like the whole world was crashing down. There were days where I gave up. But it's already been 1 year. I would like to say that when you're starting, I know there's like this feeling like the whole world see you, and then you start, and then it's like no one is even noticing you. But consistency pays off. The first thing I would say is that when I first started my business, yes, my friends patronized me. There's a point whereby nobody acted like this on my business anymore, and then it kind of like made me worry whether I was doing the right things. But later on, after running ads, and I started getting customers from strange, unknown people. And there's this rule in business: your best customers are people that don't know you. Your best customers are not going to be your friends or family, because at the end of the day, it's not because they don't need what you are offering, or because at the end of the day, other people tend to value your services more. And it's not a bad thing, it's not a sin. I feel like people should understand that when you're starting a business, it's going to be the outsiders that are going to surprise you, they're going to recommend you. And for your business to grow, you are not going to stay inside, you need people from outside to help you. So that's the first point for my business. There were months whereby I didn't do anything in my business because I felt like I scared. Sometimes I wouldn't take orders because I feel like I couldn't handle it by myself. There were times whereby I gave up. I had months whereby I would fall ill because doing it all by myself wasn't easy. So I advise that anyone that can get a second hand, someone with the same dream and passion, if you have a friend with the same dream and passion with you, if you get someone that could assist you, it's also very good so that you know that you have a responsibility over the person to keep pushing. Then things will happen. You're not going to wake up every day feeling like you want to run the business, like the business is on top of the world. There's this, I'll say, vibe when you start your business that you like, oh my god, I have this thing to achieve and this thing to push. There are going to be days whereby you feel like doing absolutely nothing, and it's normal. And there are going to be days when you're going to feel like you're going to burn out. I need people to know that it's normal, because if you feel like if you use that sign, you might feel like you're not meant to be in this business. Business goes beyond passion. You also need consistency. The only difference with the passion is that when on days when you feel like giving up and you feel like you are irritated by it, you remember what made you start, and then you feel happy again. And so I would just say consistency is key. Just keep showing up. My customers of today aren't necessarily of today are not necessarily my customers of yesterday. And my customers of yesterday sometimes have increased more. People have grown so much trust in me as a business person that they don't even bother to question my order. They just know I want the order in bulk and that's it. You'd have customers that are everyday customers. You have customers that are bulk day customers. You have customers that recommend that. That's what they do. And you have customers that maybe not even customers, but they're supporters cheering you on with every single post, with a like, a comment, and a share online. Because those things are very important. You don't take them. You have to make sure that your customers you don't take those things for granted. There's some people that can't afford your services, and it's not a big deal, or it's not a bad deal. It shouldn't make you feel bad. Once you know your target audience or whoever you want to sell to, and you select your price, you find out that some people would fall off the line. I started my business with my prices being very low to actually gain traction. But along the line, when dollar increased and everything went boom, I couldn't keep up with it anymore. I had to increase my price. And when I increased my price, it's like everything went silent for a month. Not obviously I was having customers, so everything went quiet. And then one of my customers that used to just maybe in a month she orders like 2 times, but she orders like big for that 2 times she order. So she came to me and was like, she used to wonder how I used to sell at that price. That she questioned herself, like, how can I sell at that price? And that she was like, how am I coping? How am I buying other things? But she never told me. She never said anything. So people that know value will always come back. There's some people that love value, but they can't afford it, and that's not a problem. When they reach the level that they can afford the value, then fine. But once you reach that level where your value, you know that you're putting so much effort and time, never be afraid to. And I'm just going to say, never be afraid to put a price tag, not only on the goods, but on the value of the service that you're providing and your time. Your time is very important. You can't tell people to just pay based on the goods alone because you are stressing yourself. You need to also reward yourself. So don't be afraid to put a price tag on not only the goods, but the value and the brand. Let the brand speak for itself. So I'm going to use the example of my customer that bought from me. And she bought from me and she was like, she was always worried. And she surprised me by buying the highest package I had available on daily order. She bought the highest package. I think that was a package of 9,000. She bought it. She didn't question me. And she bought it the next week. And she bought it the next week, every Friday. Or every 2 Fridays, like I must hear from her at least every weekend. She must buy something of that amount, of the huge amount like that. And it was encouraging to me because I felt like I've increased my price. No one is going to answer me. But she made me see. And then all of a sudden, some customers left the door, as in left the chat, let's put it like that. And then all of a sudden, new customers were coming in that did not even argue with me about the price. They just be like, okay, this is what they want. They see the value, they go for it. This is what they like. And then they purchase it and buy. So you have to get to that point whereby you would lose some customers, you would gain some customers, you would make friends, you would meet other customers that support you, or you meet other business people that support you. You would have some customers that cannot buy, but they will carry your business on top of their head like it's their own business. And then you have to learn how to appreciate each and every one of them and be thankful and also show gratitude to them, no matter how small, no matter how buggy it might seem. And never be afraid to put your business out. Don't be afraid. I think there's this term that they use these days, salesy. Don't be afraid to seem too salesy. because the people that need your business are there. And then I also saw this thing. When you run an ad, for an ad to register in someone's head, they must have seen it a minimum of 3 times. So imagine if you run your business ad and you're like, you've posted 10 times and you're like, out of these 10 times, not everybody will see it. So imagine, it's the 3 times that needs to register in their head, then you imagine how much more time they have to be able to trust you. And then you must find a way to be yourself in your brand, so you know you're authentic. If you need to put your face out there, put your face out there. If you need to talk to them, because people kind of communicate, or they kind of understand with authenticity. Like when they see a particular brand, they don't have to see the name to know that it is you that is selling it. And so that's how sometimes I see some people say that they've just seen something that looks like my package somewhere. That means that my brand is speaking for itself, no matter wherever it's going. And so from this 1 year, I've learned consistency is key. There are days you're going to feel like doing nothing at all, and that is fine. There are days you're going to feel like doing everything in the world, and that is fine. There are days that you're going to feel incompetent and you don't have the ability to, and that is also fine. There are days that you're going to feel like giving up, and that is fine. The only thing is I just keep pushing. My mom keeps telling myself 1 day at a time. My mom keeps reminding me 1 day at a time. Just take it 1 day at a time. Today, my sister said there's no order. Tomorrow, my sister said there's so many. So I feel like that's just the main point. Take it 1 day at a time, and then all of a sudden to shock you, it's already 1 year business. And I'm hoping that the next years that come in are greater than the already existing years I've already got. My name is Shani Ajibade Eboluwa Janices, and this is my experience.